Jose Aldo is fuming at Conor McGregor's recent call-out. Israel Adesanya hopes the internet won't cancel him for choking out his female teammate. And Jake Paul owes $300 to a former UFC fighter. Plus, Darren Till shares a big update. Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor appear to have reignited their heated rivalry. McGregor, who famously knocked Aldo out in only 13 seconds of their featherweight title fight at UFC 194 in 2015, challenged him to a rematch in boxing after the Brazilian's most recent boxing gig against Jeremy Stephens at Gamebred Boxing 4 ended in a majority draw. "Me and Aldo should box," is what McGregor tweeted. For years after his loss to McGregor, Aldo chased the Irishman in the hope of a rematch, but to no avail. Last year, Aldo said that he's moved on from McGregor, but getting a win whittled down to a draw probably left Scarface with a bitter taste in his mouth, and he blasted McGregor for his rather friendly tweet. Here's what Aldo had to say in response to McGregor, quote, "Conor has a big mouth. He always talks a lot of shit. He has a scheduled fight. He's a piece of shit. Conor, shut your mouth. We were supposed to fight before in the UFC. You run, and now you still talk shit." McGregor didn't take Aldo's words too seriously and laughed them off. Quote, "Well, okay then. Whatever, lad. I was only trying to be nice. Who pissed in your acai?" After getting an unfavorable response from Aldo, McGregor turned his attention to Jeremy Stephens, saying, quote,
"Who the f*** is that guy?"
"Me and who the f*** is that guy should box," McGregor tweeted. Unlike Aldo, Jeremy Stephens was quick to accept McGregor's challenge. He thinks the former featherweight champion would be an easy fight. Quote, "Your brittle bones ready to throw heat? Name the place and time. You can have the steroids because I know you got wobbly legs in the late rounds." McGregor is currently coaching the Ultimate Fighter 31 opposite Michael Chandler, and the two are expected to lock horns in a welterweight fight at the end of the season. So for now, McGregor's fully focused on the task at hand. Israel Adesanya looks in a pretty good mood ahead of his middleweight title fight against Alex Pereira at UFC 287. The Last Stylebender lost his 185-pound belt at UFC 281, where the Brazilian pulled off a monumental comeback victory by knocking his arch-rival out in the 5th round. Despite the immense amount of pressure on him, Adesanya appears to be in a pretty jolly mood. In a recent video uploaded on his YouTube channel, Adesanya can be seen joking around with his teammates. For instance, when one of his female teammates jokingly flipped him off, he dragged her down to the ring and snuck in a tight rear-naked choke, only to let go after a few seconds. Both Adesanya and his teammates were all smiles at the end. The footage will come as good news for Adesanya's fans since he looks very confident ahead of arguably the biggest fight of his career. In a recent interview, Adesanya said that he wants to fight a new face after getting past Pereira and that he's not interested in a trilogy.
I just like to put that pressure on myself, like, you know, I mean, I fight at 205 too, but like, yeah, I just like to put that pressure on myself, like, this is, also I don't like fighting the same people. I want to fight different bodies. I want to take more other heads, you know, so I want to get this guy, gonna get this guy, and then I can move on to another head.
To move on and fight someone else, however, Adesanya will have to defeat Pereira in a very convincing manner. For that to happen, Michael Bisping thinks Adesanya will have to make good use of his well-roundedness.
Don't be surprised if you see Izzy go out there, pretend to trade on the feet, double jab, right hand, whatever the combination may be, to get a reaction from Pereira. And when the arms come up, you level change, you're shooting, you get your arms around the leg, run him into the fence, pick him up, slam him down, and there you go. Now listen, of course, you know, Pereira training with the likes of Glover to share it. And of course, Chuck Liddell, they've been there, done it, got the t-shirt. They know how to get back to the feet. But the element of surprise from Israel Adesanya, he might just catch him. You never know.
Alex Pereira or Israel Adesanya, who do you think will win? As ironic as it may sound, Jake Paul has been accused of ripping off a UFC fighter. The YouTuber turned boxer has quickly become one of the most popular personalities in combat sports, particularly due to his stance against the UFC's low fighter pay. But at least Dana White pays his fighters, unlike Paul, who's been accused of ripping off former UFC fighter Marcus Perez. According to Perez, Paul promised to pay him $300 for a brief sparring session, but he hasn't received the money to this day. Quote, "I beat him up in the gym, sparring him for free because this bum never paid me. $300 are nothing, but he's a millionaire making $27 million out there, and he can't pay $300 for a guy just because I kicked his butt in sparring?" While $300 is indeed a very small amount for someone as rich as Jake Paul, Perez only has himself to blame for how things played out. the Brazilian admitted that things escalated during their sparring session, where he claims to have dropped the problem child with a body shot. Quote, "Our sparring session ended in a fight. His cornerman wanted to enter the ring and get me. He started trying to punch the back of my head because I started taunting him and he got mad. He's not used to it. I started showboating, keeping my hands low. I dropped him with a body punch and he got mad, so I punched him in the nose and drew blood. He got desperate." What do you make of Marcus Perez's comments about Jake Paul? Darren Till has plenty of options after parting ways with the UFC earlier this year, but a transition into boxing seems very likely. Till parted ways with the UFC on the back of 5 defeats in 6 fights, but he's confident of making a comeback and winning a UFC title down the road. Right now, Till has plenty of lucrative offers, most notably from the PFL and Bellator, but he's keeping his options open. Ideally, the Liverpudlian would want to follow the boxing trend and take home some handsome paydays.
The thing for me is probably going to be boxing. I'm probably going to end up boxing, yeah. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's, as I say, I've left on good terms with the UFC. It's probably a little bit of a disrespect for me to go to another MMA organisation when I've said to them I want to do this and that. But at the same time, if, let's say, PFL, which have already approached me, by the way, and Bellator come along with an offer I can't refuse, then I have to take it.
When asked about Logan Paul, Till said that he'd love to fight him because he's easy money.
If that fight comes about, I've got my team, you know, speaking for me, he's got his team, you know, it's a big money fight, you know, the guy, you know, he's a boxer or whatever. Yeah, I do feel I would just run over him. So we'll see, you know, maybe it'll happen at some point in the future. If I'm going to come into this boxing, I'm going to be running over these guys, running over them.
At 30 years old, Till is still relatively young and could possibly make a grand UFC comeback. But given his history with injuries, weight cuts, and his troubles outside of the cage, it doesn't seem very likely. Do you think Darren Till can make a strong UFC comeback? That's it for today. If you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you can get notified the next time we upload one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.